What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Cheese Talk podcast. I'm your host, Brian Rago, and tonight I am joined by also Bear. If you can't tell by his name, he is a Chicago Bears fan, and how fitting to have a Bears fan on a Sunday night after which was a too good of a game close for my
Very
comfort.
close.
What's going on, buddy? It's been a while. How you been?
Nah, man, living life. I really don't have anything to complain about. Not even after watching this football game. I don't have much to complain about on my side. It was a very close game. I enjoyed it. I didn't do anything today but anticipate and not have any expectations for this game. But I'm glad some of it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did look different than you have in the past. That's for sure.
Oh, you ain't
Um,
kidding.
our defense looks like they had Joe Barry back there again. Uh, it's this whole year I've seen nothing but TikTok videos of Rashawn Gary, and he's sponsored by Quick Trip, which is a gas station up here in Wisconsin. It's huge. There's per every bar in Wisconsin, there's like 15 Quick Trips. So, um, I made a comment earlier in the thing saying, come on, I've seen Rashawn Gary more on TikTok videos than I have during the games all year long because he's been like nowhere. It's like
Oh man,
you
I
get
had
these
that
guys,
conversation with somebody I know.
they sign these big contracts and they freaking disappear. Like, where's Kenny Clark been? Where's Rashawn Gary been? And then they let Preston Smith. They traded Preston Smith because he wasn't fit in the scheme, and which they kind of granted his wish, and he wanted to play. He's a wily veteran. Then they brought in Brenton Cox, who had a great. I went to the Baltimore Ravens preseason game this year in Green Bay, and he looked amazing. He had 2 sacks. He's had more sacks in one game than Gary's had all year long.
I'm about to say you had Cox and Jones, who were, if I remember, it was Jones on your side, who was demolishing at that very end of that quarter that our
Yeah,
offensive line was having an issue with. Sorry, at the start of the fourth quarter, where our offensive line had issues getting to them. So I was impressed with Cox, and just like you, I was talking to a couple of other Packer mutuals I know. I'm like, where's Rashawn Gary at? I was like, you guys signed this guy, and he's like gone.
yeah. I made a thing saying I hate that all of these guys we give these big extensions and they just disappear when we need them. But maybe I, jinx myself because he had a huge sack to the end of that game, But he still has like three and a half sacks in the season, which is about 12 less than what he should be at. David Montgomery.
I'll be honest. Whenever David left, at the time I was with everybody else. I didn't know if he was deserving of the contract that he was asking for. And I'm glad he proved me wrong, especially with the Lions, because he was one of my favorite players on this team. But I do miss Monty. Monty was one of my favorite players. And so when he went to the Lions, it broke me a little bit, man. I was like, man, how could you go to an in division rival? It's almost like Aaron Jones going to the Vikings. You have that favoritism of a running back, then they go right to an in division rival. And then, and to reiterate your question, yeah, I do miss Monty, but I'm glad he's doing well in that Lions offense.
Yeah, him and Gibbs are a scary combination in the backfield.
Or the Sonic and Knuckles that they named themselves. Sonic
Yeah,
is Gibbs and Knuckles is Montgomery.
and then Goof, Jared Goof.
Jared Goof.
What's
Yo,
your
and they went off today too. The Lions did.
52 points? They have no mercy.
Jameson Williams, Jared Goff, Gibbs, and Montgomery all just ate, and they just did not leave anything left.
Yeah, they're a scary team for sure. I don't know how to think about when we go to Detroit here in a little bit to play them. But last year we beat them on their home turf, so we'll see what happens.
And we got the Vikings next week, so I don't know. If we can put up some type of fight against you guys, against them, I think we have a chance.
Yeah, there were a couple. There were a couple of calls that probably with the Packers too that should have been called that were that one where Montgomery. We're talking about Montgomery, not Montgomery, but Joe Miles Swift in the backfield where he kind of jumped, but then he was leaning forward.
Yes.
Like, come on,
Yes.
dude.
I was amazed. I even said, "Oh fuck, false start," and then the play kept going. I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, sure." That never happened.
Yeah, and that little bit of a flop that Caleb Williams had on the sideline, that was a little over dramatical. He
Man,
put him,
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. Ugh.
he
Roughing
put
the passer.
himself more at risk by flopping than McKinney did by doing that little slap.
It was the right call. Unnecessary roughness.
But then there was a play where was it Josh Jacobs was running the ball, and he was like two steps out of bounds, and he got hit to the ground. It's like, okay, there's no flag here. That was where Jaden Reed had that block, that side block, run, and then Jacobs got hit out of bounds. And like, there's no flag. The NFL needs to have more consistency with their referees. It's getting really out of hand, like in the last couple of years. If you think about it, I mean, you could go back and look this stuff that's not. You know how like the tackles kick out or kick back quick, like they kind of do like a smidget before the ball is snapped. They're already on their way back. They've got to do something with that because that's a false start. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. These last few weeks, these refs have been letting like rivalry teams like play. Like they're not doing a whole bunch of flag, but I do agree there needs to be some type of balance between consistency of making the right call, especially if it's right in front of you. Like, come on, dude, you're right there. There's no way you did not see the whole face mask or whatever call it could have been.
Yeah, they either need to get more refs on the field, or some of the more severe penalties or missed calls need to be phoned in from New York. What are your thoughts?
I'll tell you what, Caleb Williams under Thomas Brown, everything seemed so much smoother. Like our DJ Moore screens that we've been doing, all flawlessly, pretty much executed all day, and we couldn't get that type of execution under Shane Waldron. Thomas Brown, from all the pressers, as soon as they found out he was the offensive coordinator, it was a different vibe, a different tune, and it switched. And then you saw it today. Even though Caleb didn't throw any touchdowns, his accuracy looked a lot better. I think he had a 95 quarterback rating today. And it just seems so much smoother of whatever Thomas Brown is doing differently than Shane. I'm glad they figured it out within a week.
Yeah, let's hope they can remember that from week to week. No,
it was so much better. It was nice to see a touchdown finally.
Right. That's the thing too is the Packers front four. Where the hell is the pressure at? And it's just you have Kenny Clark, you have Rashawn Gary, you have Devontae Wyatt, you have 93. I can't think of his name right now.
Kenny Clark.
Slayton. You have I just don't get what the hell is going on. Why can't we get pressure on anybody?
I thought Luke Van Ness was supposed to be y'all's like next biggest pass rusher. Where has he been at?
Right. I mean, he's engaging in blocks and he's driving back towards the quarterback. He just can't break free from the engagement.
It sounds like our rookie Austin Booker when he's out there. He's big body, and if he knows how to use it, he can do it. But he's the same way. He gets locked up in some blocks.
Yeah, we had Jair played 10 plays, and he went out with a nagging knee injury that held him out last year. That
knee injury that's been nagging at him.
Yeah,
and then Keenan Allen pancaking Nixon. I saw Keenan Allen manhandling Nixon on like a run play or something like that. I was like, "You're letting a 32-year-old man manhandle you like that, Nixon?" What's going on?
I have mixed feelings on Nixon because we kind of got. I mean, we didn't get shafted or whatever. We re-signed him back before they changed the kickoff rule, and we gave him that contract based off of what he could do for us on special teams, and then you throw him out there because he has speed. As a corner, I mean, I get it, but Like when we can't utilize him for what we signed him for, then we have him out there chasing around these guys. He's just, for like every 10 passes thrown his way, he maybe has one good play on the ball.
And
we can't have that.
And don't get me wrong, Xavier McKinney kind of had a mid-level game today too, didn't he? Because he missed that one tackle on Swift. He could have got on that touchdown.
Yeah,
wasn't he also the one that was flagged on for the unnecessary roughness for Caleb?
Yeah,
towards the sideline. Yeah, it was the right call. It was the right call.
They panned him when he smashed the freaking tablet to the ground. Whatever. But I don't see how you can come out of only thing I saw positive come out of that bye week for the Packers was a healthy Jordan Love. He wasn't running with like a limp, and he was running with a purpose. Like when he went to the goal line for the runs, he wasn't afraid to lower the boom and take a shot.
So, I was talking to somebody. I'm thinking, you think he's still kind of favoring that knee injury? Like, even though he knows he's healthy, you think it's like still stuck in the back of his head? Because when that pocket collapses or like it gets really close to him, there were some of those plays during the game where he was like calm and collected, but at the same time he was throwing like hero throws or a trigger throw. That's how that one interception happened. Threw it just a little too high and they got tipped up.
The reason why that was too high is because he's throwing off his back foot. He's not like Tom Brady said. He's not like planting his feet and throwing the ball down. He's throwing it like as he's back, and he's like Favre and Rodgers did. And maybe it was timing on Tucker Kraft. I mean, it was within reach of Tucker Kraft, and he just deflected it.
Something happened.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever he's doing, I like because he was able to drive right back down. Like the first half, we had so many chances to score, but on that, so you have that long pass to Christian Watson. He catches the ball between two defenders, right? So you get first and goal on whatever it was. Why in the hell are you running it like 5 or 6 yards out? And then on fourth down, you take a shotgun snap, so you're automatically 4 yards back from the ball from the line of scrimmage. Plus, you get what you got to get to the end zone. So then everything breaks down. And when he's running, he does his little pump fake. And before he crosses the line of scrimmage, you can see Tucker Kraft in the end zone, like waiting for the ball. And Jordan decides to run and try to get the touchdown when you could have just, tossed it to Tucker Kraft. Why? I mean, why? I don't know. That or kick the field goal.
I wish we could have kicked that field goal on that when we tried to do that 2-point conversion. I wish we would have kicked the field goal, or the extra point rather. But game is game. And I was just thinking of a different play just now, and I can't remember what it was. It was on you guys, and I thought it was pretty good. Oh, the Christian Watson had a game today, and unfortunately, it was just against us. And I've been going all season saying Christian Watson is no good for you guys. You guys need to trade him because this is his first 100-yard game in how long? Yeah, he's putting up what 30, 40 yards a game for you guys, and I mean today is the day he goes off, and hats off to him, he balled out. But I don't know, is Christian Watson still going to try being a long-term option for you guys as a wide receiver 3-4, or you think they're going to give him up for Wicks at the end of the season?
I would think we'd keep Watson over Wicks.
Yeah,
I see Reed, Dobbs, and Watson as our top 3 wide receivers. I think Watson's the ultimate team player. He could be out there being a little baby, whining about his production and everything, like a lot of these players do. But he's out there doing what he needs to do to be a team player. He's making the blocks. He's blocking downfield. He's running routes and causing the defense to read him and allow other guys to get open. So, I mean, wasn't it you that got in it with his dad on Twitter?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's just,
and I still stand by it. I'm not going to let his 100-yard game just show me that he has superstar talent. We just have a shitty backfield.
Well, he had two interceptions. He had 2 touchdowns earlier in the year for us. I know that. But
right.
I like him. I think if he's healthy, and him and Jordan Love have a good connection, I think he could be a number 1 receiver. I really do. He stretches the field. He has his speed, and he has the smell for the ball. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
Jaden Reed can get open. And Dubs had that drop pass today that could have been huge for us. Could have gotten us a first down. So I mean, it's just like they say, any given Sunday. I just glad that we
Yep.
have Austin because we know what he's capable of doing, and if he breaks out of whatever funk or they go to his way more or whatnot, we know what he's
And
capable of doing.
and like I said, game recognized game. I'll congratulate anybody who has a really good game. Christian Watson had a really, really good game. And I'm hoping that he has that continued success for you guys because he has the makings of being at least decent to good. But I don't know if Jordan Love is willing to give up his play toys of Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs just yet either.
Yeah,
Because ever since Jordan Love came in, Christian Watson kind of took the bench, and it was a Romeo Dobbs and Jaden Reed show.
yeah. It just depends on, I guess, what situation we're in and what play LaFleur is calling, and just try to get open. I guess like I tell my fifth grade basketball team, just keep on making touch to the basket and try to get open. you know.
It was a good game, regardless. Though I had fun watching it, and it wasn't one of those man f this. I'm turning it off. I'm watching some other game. It was really like holy shit, it's anybody's game at this given moment.
Yeah, I was thinking, we won 2 games this year with the field goal at the end of the game, which the field goal has been our not so strong part of our team, and they actually won us 2 games. And then what won us the game today was a block field goal. So I can't remember the last time the Packers had a block field goal.
That was another thing I'm surprised they didn't call the flag on because remember you can't have any part of your body touching the center after he snaps it if his head is down.
Yeah,
And his head was down, he was being touched all over.
yeah. Well, the
So
refs, I
there,
guess, they gotta be
that's
more.
what I'm saying. And that's what we were talking about earlier. The whole balancing. You got to be able to have those refs who can be consistent throughout the game because there were, like I said, like you said, the swift little shift movement. When I saw him do it before the play snap, even I was like, "Damn, that's a false start," and they didn't call it. And I'm like, "How did at least a head ref not see it? You're behind them at all times." So we're like,
Right, and even like last game we had against was it the Lions where the center like he like put like he's ready to snap the ball and like we jumped off sides, but that's when the center lifts his head. That's when the ball is getting snapped, and they called us for encroachment when it should have been a full start on the Lions. So it's just they got to have consistency with the refereeing because it's hurting a lot of games.
your running game looked a lot better today, though, too. Like you fed Josh Jacobs when it was time to feed him and stuff like that. So I was impressed with that because the passing game was like up and down. And so when you knew to attack the ground, you knew to attack the ground, especially since we have Andrew Billings out for the rest of the year. We just lost our 280-pound defensive lineman who was up there in the top defensive tackles for like run stops.
Sure.
And you guys attacked that side a lot, so that was good. I like that you guys utilized him though too.
Yeah,
I'm being unbiased, so I don't want any like Bears fans or Packers fan coming at me saying, "No, a closet Bears fan could be a Packer fan." No, game knows game. I'm going to call it as I see it.
Yeah, the Packers.
Rome Odunze had a day for himself though too. 67 yards, I think, for receptions. Rome had a good day, and Moore ate up those screens. I was happy with the play calling today.
Yeah, I just wish Jair could have played some more, But
was it that same knee that was bugging him these last few weeks?
Yep.
It's all right. We might have Jaquan Brisker out for the rest of the year because that concussion is just not healing the right way the neurologist and the team is hoping for. So they put him on IR. And they said it's going to take 4 weeks, but I think us as a fan base knows that we've seen these type of concussions happen, and in the league, and you're just like, man, I don't think he's coming back. If he does, great, it means he's healthy. But at the same time, if he's not, I'd rather him just sit and get better. There's no reason to risk your life for the game.
Right. That kind of brings me to my next question. Like, what are your thoughts on like that hit Brian Branch had against the Packers, the helmet to helmet, and he got ejected? Like,
I don't recall the play. Trying to walk it through me.
Bull Melton was going for a catch, and Brian Branch had plenty of time to slow up Well, he dipped his shoulder and dipped his head down and hit him in the side of the head. He got flagged for unnecessary roughness, and he got ejected out of the game. And
Yeah, as he should. You hit the quarterback as he's sliding.
That's what I've been saying my last few weeks on my podcast. It's like the NFL needs to do something to protect these players. I mean, they come from college where targeting gets you ejected out of the game and part of the next game, depending on when it happens. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that the NFL needs to do a better job and enforcing it when it happens and you get called for it. I think there should be a hefty fine the player has to pay to maybe.
They do.
But I'm saying, like, make it hefty. Like, and then they have it be, like, not 3 strikes you're out, but, like, make the fine for the same offense, multiple offenses, go up more and more and more and make it affect their income. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people that retire 10, 15, 20 years after the NFL that, I mean, look what happened to Junior Seau. You know? And it's just, you got to think about the NFL is just forking over money left and right for, I mean, they're making money left and right off of the NFL, but they're not putting their player safety really out there. And I think that if there's like a play that we see where a ref doesn't see it happen, I think New York should have the authority to call into that game and stop it and handle the penalty as needed. You know?
What I think that's where the NFL is trying to go with the guardian caps. They're trying to get there. You can slowly see that they're trying to put these guardian caps on these players and more so forcibly make these players wear it the more concussion results they get. Because you see that now. I mean, they're making them wear it during practices. They're making them wear it during training camp, and they're giving them the option to wear it during game day. And you've seen a handful of cornerbacks, wide receivers, linemen wearing these things, and I don't know if they're any better, but there's like a step there. But obviously, like, of course, it's player's choice at this point. But I agree with you that if it's a consistent, it's been happening over and over again, and it's starting to become redundant. It needs to be a heftier fine and a more stronger punishment towards that player.
Yeah, I'm not just saying this because the Lions are in the NFC North, but I think they're coached that way. So it's no surprise that this is how they're reacting to it. When you
gotta bite the kneecap, baby. You gotta bite the kneecaps for all that grit they got.
when Brian Branch got that, and they get T-shirts made up of him walking off Lambeau Field going like this to the crowd. I mean, like they're celebrating his penalty, and that's just. I mean, that culture can get scary. What's it gonna take to have someone taken off the field dead?
Gonna look like the '80s football all over again.
And look at a lot of those players now.
Yeah, all them brain damages and early retirements and body disfigurements.
Yeah,
I mean, you got people's pinkies were way out here.
Like Larry McCarron, he's one of them. He's a Packers announcer. He's in the Packers media. We always have a joke where his finger is held up and his thumb is bent, like totally, is like
all the way around, right?
Dusty. But I just think the NFL's got to do a better job at protecting their players. I mean, look at Tua. Look how the Dolphins treated him. They had him back out there the week after he got his first concussion.
Like I don't understand. I don't know if that's just Mike McDaniel's just trying to be friendly with Tua and be like, "Hey, buddy, if you feel like you can do it, I'm not going to stop you." Like, no, stop your player.
I mean, I just don't get it, but.
Like when you see your player fencing air, yeah, there's some head trauma going on.
Yeah, and then you have his fingers making all these
spasm. They're just stuck.
Yeah, it's just scary, and to have him go back out there the week after and having a shoddy medical team it's just stupid.
So what was one impressive on your end that you like seeing from the Bears? Either the Bears or a specific player. Like, what impressed you the most, or who impressed you the most?
I just think they felt like they were refreshed after firing that coordinator. And Caleb Vick and his legs, as I called him on Twitter, Caleb Vick.
70 yards, dude. He fucking ran his ass off today, and it worked. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna do whatever. But I think he was trying to be too cute when we were on our side of the field. Those 2 sacks that he took, because when he went to go pump, he stepped up to try to cut out to the left, and then he got hit and got sacked. And then he tried to do it again when he tried to run up the middle, and he got sacked again. And I was like, Caleb, you're being cute. Stop. Just stop. And I get it. He did his legs were working. He was trying to get what was working to keep working. And I'm whatever Thomas Brown called. I don't know the exact play call what it would be. But when Caleb had the roll out and he threw it to Roma Dunze and it made it to where it was that first down or 4th and 2 or something like that, I thought that was impressive. He was able to like progress a little bit better this game for some, I guess however Thomas Brown set it up for him.
Well, I mean, and he played good. He gave our defense a test. I mean, showing how our defense played now versus how we played in the beginning of the year. That's not hard to do, but he played good, and he utilized his weapons and like 4th and 3, 4th and 4, he's over there yelling, "Let's go for it! Let's go for it!" Hey, that's good that he wants to go up and try to make plays. At least he's not backing down.
I was watching it with my grandfather today, and they kept going fourth and down, fourth down. And I kept saying, "Hey, if they like it, it better work. If they like it, it better work." And they liked it enough, and it worked almost every time.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they finish, how the NFC North finishes this year. Seems like the Lions are just they're gonna win it for sure.
Steamroll it. The only thing I hope for is I was talking to a friend of mine who's a Lions fan. I've known him for years, and I was like, "I'm happy for you guys." And he goes, "Yeah, me too." And I was like, "Is Dan Campbell going to be pretty and cute in the playoffs again?" And then he was like, "Man, I hope not." He's hoping for complete coaching all the way through from regular season into playoffs.
That's the thing. I'm hoping for. Like, I believe the Packers will make the playoffs. I hope how the seeding works out, depending on where they finish and the Lions finish. I hope someone knocks the Lions off before we would have the potential of playing them, because they're just.
I hope somebody just knocks you out entirely. I don't even care how far you get.
Yeah, but I just think that I think team can be beat anywhere. I mean, the Chiefs got beat today, so I mean, Mahomes.
Yeah, the Chiefs getting beat today. That was fun. I got to see all my little Chiefs Kingdom friends freaking out.
Yeah,
that was amazing to watch.
Yeah, they're gonna have a bad week.
Taylor Swift's gonna come out with a new song, "The Chiefs Heartbreak." Yeah. The Chieftain Heartbreak.
Yeah, the new breakup song, right? Where do you see the Bears finishing this year?
Realistically, and I hate to say it, I see us maybe pulling a win out of the Vikings, because it's always been a back and forth between us. It's either 1-1 the rest of the season, 2-0, It's always a good back and forth between the rest of us. We might have a chance against the 49ers if the 49ers look the way they did today. So I'm going to expect maybe 2 more wins out of this season.
So what would your record be then? 6-11?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a good record. It's a good record to have to get rid of our head coach. Yeah. That motherfucker needs to go. His quote today, I think it was, "Life gets tough, but tough guys don't," or some shit like that. It was some Disney slogan ass type of remark to the press. I was like, "You little soft ass fucking coach that doesn't." I don't no. He needs to go. I'm so fucking tired of him. How do you? All our other coaches before him at least beat the Packers once or twice. This guy has yet to beat the Packers. Like, that should be an immediate fireable offense right now. If you go 6-0 against the Packers, you should just be done. Get out of here.
Well, what I see, Matt LaFleur is 11-0 against the Bears.
Yes. I'm like, bro, come on.
Yeah, I think the Packers have a couple trickier games coming up, but I think they'll definitely make the playoffs, and hopefully they can make a run like they did last year, and But I just don't. Yeah, the Bears need to start working on getting offensive line and a new coach.
I think that's what actually Poles is working on because when he came on as GM, he said it's going to take 3 to 4 years to build a roster. It's in year three. He's got a possible future star, superstar quarterback. You got a possible future star wide receiver, Roma Dunze. You got your wide receiver one more locked up for a couple more years. And I think everybody but the right tackle and the left tackle are all free agents next year. I think the center is still with us, but I think Poles is going to go in hard on offense. At least I hope he goes hard on the offseason for offensive linemen and really dives deep into the draft on offensive linemen too.
Yeah, I think the Packers. I mean, I think they got to go for a corner for sure. I don't know. It's just Jair, his inconsistency the last couple of years. Valentine, whatever, the Hallmark couple. I mean, we got McKinney, Javon Bullard. He's going to be good. We got Evan Williams.
Javon Bullard is going to be good. I like Javon Bullard.
Yeah, I like the swag that he brings. Having him back there with McKinney. Our defensive line, I think we got to maybe make a few tweaks on. But we have a good linebacking core, I think. Quay Walker. I don't think he gets he gets negative attention and he gets good attention. He's always making tackles, which is good. He's getting burned, but he has a lot of responsibility at middle linebacker. I wish they would play Tyron Hopper a little bit at middle linebacker as well because he had a big game against the Ravens in preseason as well. He made some big plays. I just don't see why these guys aren't getting out there at all.
So would you say your draft should consist of a corner and maybe another linebacker?
Corner linebacker and maybe a lineman.
Especially since you got Jordan Morgan on your IR already, your first round pick.
You can never go wrong with no. You can never
the
go wrong
eye roll
with
that you gave me.
You can never go wrong though with getting offensive linemen, especially the way the Packers have been able to produce good linemen, and you get linemen that are versatile and that can play more than one position. So if someone goes down, you can make those adjustments. Like last week, we're playing Elton Jenkins at center. So I mean,
right.
Just have guys that you can move around and fill in as you need. So,
but what do you think about that? Your first round draft pick already on IR.
It happens. I'm not going to bitch about it.
Well, the only reason I ask is I have a couple of Packer mutuals who are like upset that they quote unquote wasted a first round pick on a tackle they already put onto IR. And I'm just like, you guys have 3 more years with this guy. Like, what are you freaking out about?
I don't know. I mean, it's. I think he'll be a good player for the Packers. I just haven't seen much out of him. He had some good plays though earlier in the year at was he playing right guard? I think he was playing.
I thought you guys had him for left tackle.
We drafted him as left tackle, but we had him playing right guard, I believe.
Okay.
Like I was saying, how it's nice to have linemen you can move up and down the line at different positions, and pretty sure they're having him at right guard. So, I don't know. What do you think the Bears do in the offseason as far as their draft picks?
Per the first round, there's a lot of us that want to have Poles get either an edge rusher or a at least a guard for sure. Because I do think we have Coleman Shelton coming back next year. I think he was on a 2-year. But a lot of us want him to either pick up an edge, a corner, and what did I just say? A guard. So There's a lot of us that want one of those 3. I wouldn't mind more of an edge or a offensive lineman in the first. But I think edge rushers are like deep this year. So if we can go get an edge rusher with a first round, I wouldn't be terribly mad at it either. You can always find a good offensive lineman in the second round. I mean, we got 2 of them next year. So
yeah, I think our running back room is pretty good. We have obviously Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson. We had that number 30 that was running the ball hard. I can't remember his name, but then we have Marshawn Lloyd as well, which he hasn't been able to show anything really because he's been on IR. He was set to come off IR for this game, but he had appendicitis, I think, so he was out for surgery, and
Oh,
so
and I was excited to see how he was going to do, especially since he had to go against his former QB for you know two times in a year.
yeah, so hopefully he'll be back, in January to play against the Bears in Lambeau. But it's always good to get a rivalry, well, a game victory on the road, especially in Chicago. It was a very, very close game, and I was putting off leaving for a basketball game until that game was over. So I surprised I
Dude,
didn't lose my voice for the games tonight, but
I was calm, cool, and collected. I had a little bit of green to help me out, mellow
yeah,
for the entire rest of the game. I was like, I'm not going out drinking. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna watch my game. I'm gonna hit it a little bit, and I'm gonna just stay chill for the rest of this game. I was like, I
yeah,
am not gonna be hurt for this. I'm just gonna be like, well, it happens. Next play. I'm not gonna be upset over this game, but I was happy that it was closer than what I thought it was gonna be. I thought y'all were gonna put up like 30, 40 points on us, to be honest with you, and I thought we were only going to put up like a touchdown and a field goal. I had no hope for this game, but I'm glad it was a lot closer than what it was, and it was exciting on both ends.
yeah. I'm just kind of shocked that the Packers they haven't been able to figure out how to get pressure like in the first half of games, because that's usually when the game gets out of hand real quick, is in the first half. Then by the time you make adjustments, there's no way you can come back from that big of a deficit.
Right. And
But
we couldn't put any type of real pressure on Love. The pressure we did, he just escaped out. And we didn't sack him once. We came close a couple of times, but it was just like, get to him. What is wrong? Like I don't understand it.
yeah, and that's like with the Packers too. Like their pass rush, it's like they all instead of containing the edge, they all over pursue and they flush the quarterback up the middle, or you know what I'm saying. It's then everyone's running the guard there to defend their player, and they all have their backs turned to Caleb Williams. So by the time they realize he's running, he's 10, 15 yards down the field. It's like, fuckers, get him.
That kid can move. I'm so glad he was able to, use his legs. I know he doesn't want to use his legs, but you have to in times like this. You got to use your legs.
Yeah,
Jordan Love
do it.
does it. Uh, Jordan Love does it. Caleb is doing it now. I think Russell Wilson still does it. There's a handful. Patrick Mahomes, Jared Allen,
Lamar.
Josh Allen. Yeah, Lamar is notorious for that. It's a dual purpose QB league nowadays. You gotta know how to run. You gotta know how to throw.
Man, and even my buddy Aaron Rodgers in New York runs every once in a while too. They lost today to the Colts, so it's I don't see him playing next year. I really don't. I mean, what are they going to do? Everything they've given up to get him, and he's just nothing. They got Devontae now. They have him. They have Garrett Wilson. They have. I mean, it's just who else do they need?
And if Rodgers decides to retire next year, they still have to pay him.
I know how that goes. The Packer fans know how that goes. We were paying him to be a Jet, and he wasn't even in.
He didn't even play a full season.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad the Packers did what they did. Maybe Jordan Love, didn't have the best season yet. He's been, that hit in Philadelphia, which I still think was a dirty hit. His groin. He's had a bad shake of injuries this year, and I think now he has the confidence that he's probably at 95, maybe 100%, and I think we'll see good things from here on out. But the Bears definitely did surprise me today. I will admit that. I was ready to shut down my phone for the week on all things with social media because I was so pissed off at the game, and it's just like you think back and it's like, well, if they would have kicked the field goal instead of going for it on fourth down, we would have had the points. But are we gonna get the ball back, or are we gonna have a chance to go down and score? It's like, and then it's just, I was screaming.
I wish in that 23-second mark they would have ran another, because it was only 2nd and 8 or something like that. I wish in that 23-second mark they would have ran it on another play. At least get 2, 3 more yards. Really hold on to that ball, run up the middle. And I know Santos can make a 46-yard field goal. I've seen him do it plenty of times. But no, if your kicker averages even 60 yards a game, I'm sure your kicker and everybody else will agree. The closer, the better for your kicker. Make it as easy as possible for him to hit that mark, no matter what the distance is. If you can
But
go from a 46-yard field goal and make it into a 43, that's closer the better. So I just wish that we would have pushed a little extra yardage on the 23 seconds, and then as it was going down, call that timeout.
yeah, I was kind of wondering why they this didn't get a couple more, a play or two more off to get closer, especially when it's what was it, 45-yard field goal, 46,
Yeah, 46.
and yeah, it's not his fault that it got blocked, you know.
No,
So I mean, I think if it wasn't blocked, it would have went in, but it's just
it was
that's
there.
how.
It only missed about a yard, half a yard out.
Yeah,
It still hit the end zone. That finger didn't tip it. Man, that was it.
yeah.
I would have been toxic all week. Would have been toxic. No, I wouldn't have.
So
I would have.
obviously,
I would have just been happy.
I follow the Packers obviously on social media, and man, their social media team is gutsy because the 1 day game they had that the Packers like drink hot piss or something like that up here, or something about hot piss, and
Yeah,
then just today's thing was um had the Packers score the final score or whatever, and it said just the tip.
just the tip. And it really was just a tip. A tip that
So
can ruin your whole life.
so being the content creator that I am, I went and so I got that video of the field goal block, and then I ran it with the Titanic music because every everything that fails is always good to have the Titanic music in the background. Speaking of
Oh man.
speaking of that, I think it did the same thing with the Jane Daniels Hail Mary against the Bears.
Yeah, that happened too. I do remember seeing that.
Well,
Oh,
what are your thoughts on Tariq Stevenson?
I don't have any.
Okay.
Like I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people are wanting them to draft another corner is that Stevenson, when he has the right mindset, he's a decent corner, but I think he leads the league in allowing separation from corner to wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I like him because he has the ability to make a play when it's needed, but he also has the ability to make a play for negative reasons, meaning the opponent makes the play on him. So I
Yeah.
don't I
I
don't know.
got to
I'm
the
up and
Bears
down with him.
where I
And I
got to the
defended him hard in the offseason. I was like, nah, this guy's gonna be good. This guy's not gonna be an issue. And then Washington happened, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should listen to the other guys.
well, it's not. I guess he did recover from being over by the pylon talking smack to the Redskins or the Commanders um, fans. He did make it back to the launch pad to try to tip the ball, but he tipped it to the wrong person. And you're supposed to smack that ball down too. You're not supposed to tip it. I mean, what the hell,
Right.
It makes about as much sense that the Lions not putting in Calvin Johnson for the Hail Marys that Rodgers threw against them. It just doesn't make sense. You put your tall guys back there and you don't let them get behind you.
I hope he shapes up. I mean, he's still on a rookie contract, and I hope he shapes up. He has the makings to be a decent quarterback, but he has Terrell Smith on his heels, and Terrell Smith is the one that made that interception today. And so that's a question I wanted to ask you. What can they do to stop Jordan Love throwing an interception a game? Because he's averaging an interception a game.
I don't know. Depends on
Like what's going on? Like, is he just feeling pressured? Is he just overanalyzing? Is he
I think he's getting a
trigger happy?
little bit of Brett Favre, a little bit of Aaron Rodgers. He's patient with the ball. He's selective, but at the same time, he's kind of like Brett Favre. He's just like fuck it and just throw the ball. Let's roll, you know. And I mean, the two bad interceptions that he had in my eyes was against the Rams, the pick six, and against the Lions, the pick six. Because those are just get rid of it. Don't try to make a play. The one he had against, I forgot who it was, like two games ago. It was a good throw, but it was an even better defensive play on the ball where the cornerback stepped in front of, was it Romeo Doubs or somebody? But we got the ball back like 2 plays later. McKinney picked it off. But I look at those interceptions like if he's going for the end zone or going for a pass down on the opposing team's 10, 15-yard line, okay, you just punt the ball. So what? You just get your defense out there and get the ball back, you know? I'd rather have him throw an interception in enemy territory versus our own territory, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true too. I mean,
This
I
is
would
just
have been
like
upset if it was on my side too.
giving a punt up, you know? That's how I look at it.
That interception led us to that touchdown.
Yep.
All the way from what, our 2 yard line, one or 2 yard line, made it all the way down over that way.
Yeah.
That was what I was impressed with Thomas Brown. How, because all year we haven't, every time we get to our own side of the field that far deep, we've never been able to get it past there. And somehow Thomas Brown was able to figure out what the issue was, and then get us past that way. So I don't know. I was relieved with how the play calling was today, rather than who we had before.
Yeah. I was so pissed off. I was telling my wife, I go, oh, I posted this on Twitter too. It was the, hey Packers, here's my resume. I'm a highly successful coach, and my franchise mode backs me up. 30 Super Bowl championships in a row. But oh man, I was mad. It's like just fucking get the points, or why? Just
It's a rivalry. It has to be off of entertainment. Get the fans going, all hyped up. You know how it is.
But still, it's just it could have been a lot. But, you know, I don't get our defense. Like one week we're good, the next week it's like some
It's like
team
they
that's
stayed home.
some team that's mid looks like they're freaking like contenders for like years to come, and it's just like fucking figure it out. It's like you guys are getting paid millions to do this. Figure it out.
It's like see ball, get ball. See ball, get ball. I don't know what's hard about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, McKinney, he had 6 out of the first 8 games he had an interception. And it's just like you said, it's a rivalry game. It's entertaining, and they're usually closer than what they should be.
Hey, I will say, Caleb is doing good protecting that ball. No costly turnovers. Not too much hero ball going on, but he's doing well compared to the first few weeks where it was just like, why do you have no control over that ball? Security, da 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 da. I wish the touchdowns were there more, but I'm happy he's not making like dumb turnover mistakes.
Well, yeah, and like even when I was talking with you earlier this year, it's like, well, he's not going to be able to utilize his weapons when he's on his back. And he wasn't on his back until the end of the game, pretty much against the Packers. And before that, he was hitting people left and right. He had time to make his read, So I mean,
I think they were clocking him at 2.1 seconds a throw between every play, which was the fastest he's been doing all year. I think he was averaging 2.88 seconds a throw, which is slow in a pocket. But they were like I said, they were clocking him at 2.1 seconds per snap, which is what he was comfortable at USC. Get the ball out, snap it. Get the ball out, move it. Get the ball out, going. So
see, and that's kind of why I was There's been plays where we've crept McKinney up the line and he's blitzed outside the defensive end. And I just don't know why we're not, especially if they're trying to get the ball out faster, why they're not getting a faster guy blitzing the quarterback.
I was surprised you guys didn't blitz as much as I thought you were going to, because that's all teams have been doing to us for the last 3 weeks. They load the box up, they send 6, 7 people, knowing that our offensive line can't contain that many people. And then Caleb Williams being the rookie, he's either going to be trigger happy or he's going to be ball protective and just curl and dive. But I was just telling my grandfather, I was like, these guys aren't bull rushing. I was like, last 3 weeks we've had the entire team bull rushing. These guys aren't bull rushing.
Right. Yeah, I just hope they can make some adjustments. And like I said, it just
What has been your impression with Halfley? Like, how do you feel about him?
I mix. There's obviously when there's games where they do really good, I'm happy. But there's games where they're bad, and you think about you have like PTSD from Joe Barry. When we played against the Vikings team, the Lambeau, and the first half they're routing us. Right, I forgot what the score was, but they went in at halftime, and we came back out, and we scored 28 points in that second half, and they held them to 3, and we lost by 4. So it's like games, like I was telling earlier in the show, games that you get so far behind in the first half and you make adjustments at halftime, you can't usually catch back up and win. We can't be in that situation. It's going to end bad for any team. And it shouldn't take that long to make adjustments, Like today in my basketball game, like we got the rebound, we're up by 3, I think it was, and I call a timeout. We haven't worked all year on breaking a press, and they're pressing us. So on the fly, I'm just like, okay, I call a timeout. I'm like, okay, the ball's here at half court. Everybody run towards the ball. And then the fastest kid, I'm like, you turn around and run to the far. There's like 6 seconds left. You run to the far corner of the court and have so and so throw you the ball. That way, when you first touch it, you'll be under our basket. And if they somehow get it, they have 6 seconds to get the ball all the way down the court and make a basketball. We won the game. I mean, it's just you got to make. I was making up press breaking plays in the huddle. I had to work with it all year long. So I mean, obviously the NFL is a much bigger situation, but it's like you got to make moves on the fly, and it shouldn't take you, a whole half of football to make adjustments on teams.
But yeah, no, overall great game. I'm glad it was. I'm glad it wasn't too one sided. I'm glad it wasn't a blowout on either end. And both quarterbacks had a good game. Besides that one mishap on Jordan Love, and no touchdowns on Caleb Williams. But it showed that maybe Caleb Williams and Jordan Love will be a good quarterback rivalry for a couple of years, just based off this one game. They threw really well.
Let's just hope they don't treat Caleb Williams like they treated Justin Fields.
Like I said, man, I hope Foles' brain is on offensive line time. I think we have like $75 million next year. Time to put some of that money to work.
Well, we traded Preston Smith, and we actually, I think we're like at $66 million next year. And with the last few years of having our contracts tied up with Aaron Rodgers and Bakhtiari, that was like $90 million right there a year. So now we're actually able to go out and get an Xavier McKinney, a Josh Jacobs, and maybe we can make a splash in the offseason with a free agent. Who knows? Maybe we can move up in the draft. I mean, sometimes the off seasons are more exciting than the regular season, just to see what your team does and the potential they might have. I mean, I know you guys are all high on Caleb Williams. I guess I didn't see much of him play in college. I mean, if it wasn't going to directly affect my team as far as like my team's personnel, I wasn't really paying attention to it. But he did look good today. I mean, better than what I expected. So it's hopefully the rivalry gets back to not 11 straight wins for the Packers, and you guys can make some noise as well. Just not against the
Well,
Packers.
with free agency, maybe how the NFC North has been playing on all phases on all 14, it kind of will favor some players to come check out what the NFC North is like.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at like the Vikings, they upped Jefferson, so he's there for whatever. The Packers, they got McKinney, they got Jacobs, they got Love. You got the Bears, they got Caleb, they got Dunze, they got I mean, that's Swift. I mean, he was running the ball good today. And Detroit, they have everybody. It's just all phases of the game. They just have a complete team. So I think the NFC North is by far the best division in football right now.
But I think the NFC West and East are all tied up in the 500, in the 100. So they got us beat for right now.
Yeah.
Whatever Seahawks division is in, they have all of them are 500 or up.
Yeah, I'm just curious really to see, because I mean our offense really isn't in need of really anything. We got Love, we got Kraft, we got Watson, Reed, Dobbs, Jacobs. I mean, we have a good young line. I just think our weakness is our fucking defense. And we just gotta, every year we gotta reload on defense. So be it. Keep doing it until you find the right match, I guess.
Well, you got Matt LaFleur out there who's good at making anybody look good. So you like you said, you're not so much worried about the offense, but that defense needs to be figured out every year on your side. And it's the opposite for us. Is that our defense can be good all year long. It's that offense that gets the defense tired and makes them start looking bad. I'm just like, come on. Now today was good. It was very mixed bagged.
You know what's surprising though, that when the Jets fired Robert Saleh, he came to Green Bay. He was at a couple
I
of
saw that.
our practices. Well, him and LaFleur are best friends. LaFleur was the best man in his wedding. And then Saleh worked with Hafley in San Francisco when he was defensive coordinator. And then they're actually having him as a consultant.
That was your issue. You hired Saleh, and it was like, damn. Now my defense. What the hell happened to
it? They hired him to help the offense recognize what the defense is doing. So they didn't hire him as a defensive coordinator or helper. They were trying to have the offense recognize what the defense is showing you. But I think they should switch that and make him be like a helper on defense, because we're good on offense and we just need help on defense. But well, I'm gonna probably wrap things up here with you, buddy, and I'll look to have you on in January.
That sounds good to me.
Bears, Packers. I think I have Fitz Magic, Aaron Fitzpatrick. He goes around and does the food reviews. He's a Bears fan. He lives in Chicago. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have him on. I think that Bears weekend. I'll try to get you on that weekend as well. Or maybe we can do a 3-person podcast. Have me and 2 other people.
We could try bringing in fans of all 4 phases.
Yeah, I could do that. Lions, Tigers, and Bears online.
Lions, Cheese, Bears, and Vikings.
Yeah, I don't know. I might get out of control. I don't know.
I know you'll figure it out. I know we'll have fun either way.
Yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate you being on. Where can people find you on social media? You
can find me at Oso Smokes, and the O is going to be a number. It's on Twitter, so it's OSOSM 0 MKES.
Are you on Blue Sky yet?
I am, but I'm not really on it. I just followed the trend. I opened it up, and I'm just like, it's there. I didn't want to miss out on the trend in case popped off. So I'm just like, I want to beat it to the punch before anything gets too crazy out there.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can follow me at Cheese Talk _pod on Twitter. YouTube is Cheese Talk Podcast, all one word. Cheese is spelled with a Z, not an S. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. So I appreciate you being on. Go Pack Go.
Go
And
Bears, baby. Bear down,
and
motherfucker. Bear down.
enjoy your week of what could have been a victory
No,
week.
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm still going to enjoy it.
It was
I ain't going
improvement.
to let it bring me down.
Right. That's a good way to look at it.
All right, brother. You have a good night. Thanks for inviting me on tonight.
Always. Thank you.